Settle down, brother. This is the Quarter Report, powered by ENCA.com. South Africa is a movie. Welcome to the watch party. Deputy President Paul Mashatile has suddenly declared ownership of a 28.9 million rand Constantia palace. That is News 24's headline that I just read. And I used it because, shout out to News 24, it is the perfect headline. This place is a palace. If you haven't seen the pictures, and newsflash, a deputy president's salary does not get you this kind of palace, nor the 37 million rand valued home that he has also declared that he inhabits in Midrand in Gauteng. So, we're going to talk about that and the many or the long history of allegations and accusations and suspicions that our deputy president and maybe soon to be future president of the ANC in South Africa has been involved in shady, dodgy dealings. We're also going to talk about Madlanga of the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry into the dodgy policing that came from the Mkhwanazi press conference. Madlanga has finally announced his crack team to take on this commission. And let me tell you, there are superstar legal minds, legal experts, lawyers, including one of them who was on South Africa's ICJ case in defense of Palestine against Israel over conditions of genocide, Adila Hassim. This team is a massive team and a deeply impressive team of top legal minds in good standing. So we're going to talk about this commission, the team that's going to investigate what has been going wrong in South Africa's security services. If you're a first-time viewer, you should know that you can watch the full episode of the Quarter Report powered by ENCA.com in only one place. It's ENCA.com. You can see the link in the description to go and watch the full episode. And there's another link in the description of the YouTube, which is to www.3beaniesnetwork.com. If you want merch from the show, you can get the Settle Down Brother jersey or the tee that James is wearing. You can also get the tee in a really beautiful, tasteful cream. You can get tote bags and mugs and the rest. You can also get a shirt which just says Settle Down Brother. Deputy President Paul Mashatile might be Cyril Ramaphosa's successor in the African National Congress. And although 2029 is far away and it's not looking good, bruv, for the ANC right now, Deputy President Paul Mashatile may become the ANC president and may therefore after that become the president of South Africa. So he really matters. He avoided the limelight for a long time before becoming deputy president and even in the early days of being deputy president. But for those of you who don't know, he has been a massively powerful person in business and politics in Gauteng for a long time. He is identified as one of the prominent members of people who are broadly called the Alex Mafia, which is a set of business people and politically powerful people from Alexandra Township in Gauteng. And Paul Mashatile has for a long time been connected to business deals and shady activity by powerful people that has not yet led to him being convicted of anything. To be clear, he has not been convicted by a court of law. He has not been found guilty in a trial. It's really important that we remember that. But his name keeps coming up in evidence on other cases and connected to powerful people who are shady. And Paul Mashatile is not alone in that. For example, we have recently learned that Brown Mkhwanazi, the fixer in the middle of all of those allegations around Police Minister now on leave Senzo Mchunu and General Mkhwanazi and Shadrach Sibia and Kat Matlala, Brown Mkhwanazi was a big player in the CR17 campaign to get Ramaphosa the presidency of the ANC. So I'm not saying that Paul Mashatile is worse or an exception, but you need to understand that Paul Mashatile has long been seen as somebody involved in the dodgier side of life in politics and business in Gauteng. Recently, he started to make himself far more public and do far more media gigs and speak out a lot more, which a lot of people have identified as his move to raise himself in the public consciousness in preparation for a presidential run, an attempt to succeed Ramaphosa. But at the same time, for years, Deputy President Paul Mashatile has been obfuscating and dodging and avoiding the seemingly clear link between himself and a mansion in Constantia of Cape Town. It's got a wine cellar and multiple houses and stairs in the middle of the estate leading down to a pool. It's got a cinema. It basically borders back on pure nature. It is palatial. And that's why I used the News 24 headline from the journalist Kyle Cowan. I just think it nailed the sentiment of this place. For years, Mashatile has been trying to not talk about his alleged connections to it because it is strictly owned by a company as part of a series of other companies led by and seemingly controlled by his son-in-law. Yeah, his son-in-law. His son-in-law, Nceba Nonkwelo, purchased this property in May 2023, and the house has been available for Mashatile's use. So Mashatile has said, well, it's been available for my use, but it's not actually classified. He's never declared it until just a few days ago, because people involved in cabinet and parliament are supposed to declare all their assets to parliament. Only a few days ago now, Paul Mashatile finally declared it as a place of residence, along with a 37 million rand luxury accommodation in the private estate Waterfall or Waterfall in Midrand. So this is a really big deal. That other luxury accommodation, also seemingly owned by a shell company, or at least a very basic company controlled by his son-in-law, Nonkwela, who's been married to Mashatile's daughter, Palesa, since at least 2006. Why does this matter? Well, it matters because I don't know if you know what public servants make, even deputy presidents, but it's not 28.9 million rand palatial mansions. It's not also or alone 37 million rand mansions in Waterfall Midrand. It is hyper suspicious that Mashatile has access to these properties, but also insists that he doesn't own them. But also we don't have any clear understanding about how his son-in-law made all this money. How did Nonkwelo make all this money and more than all this money to buy these luxury accommodations? You should also know that Paul Mashatile has received hundreds of thousands of rands in payments from the infamous tenderpreneur Edwin Sodi, the man currently on trial along with Ace Makashule for the awful asbestos scandal in the Free State, the first big state capture connected court trial that's going on. And Paul Mashatile used to use Edwin Sodi's Clifton home. Clifton is next to Camps Bay, the other stupid luxury area of Cape Town, where basically only multi-millionaires from other countries and other currencies can afford easily to buy Clifton properties. Why was Mashatile using Edwin Sodi's home free of charge for all those years? Now, apparently before he became deputy president, but why was that happening? Why was that happening? And it adds to this cloud of all of this inexplicable wealth around the deputy president that, again, he's not been found guilty of doing anything. But again, why is all of this happening around our deputy president, potentially soon to be president of the ANC and maybe even the country? And that's why everyone's been talking about it today, because, there's a lot of fake news in this country. There's a lot of propaganda. There's a lot of bots. But after so much smoke, and this is real smoke, this isn't bot smoke, this is on the record smoke, there's probably a fire, people. There's probably a fire. And that's why everyone's talking about it.
How would you like to do some creative maths?
Let's do some creative maths.
Because I just Googled, and it's pretty widely reported that his compensation, including everything, as a deputy president of the country, not of the ANC, is 3 million rand a year.
Only 3 million rand a year? What does his son-in-law do for money?
And he's only been deputy president since 2023, once David Mabuza stepped down.
But you know what makes me so suspicious is he's a successful business person by all accounts. He's been able to make money. Whether you think it's shady or not, Mashatile has been able to make money. Buy your own house, bro. Why is it happening through your son-in-law on like some shell company? And again, you could say it's just your son-in-law, but now you've just admitted in the record after 2 years of denying it that you used this place. You've declared it as a residential property for yourself.
We're in the wrong business, can I just say? We shouldn't be working. We shouldn't be trying to do things.
Should having daughters and marrying them off.
No, you be the son-in-law.
Oh, I see.
You go, you find, a surname that you recognize from the paper.
Yeah.
And you go.
And you get in the family.
You literally just sit there in Santon on the street corner and try and look appealing.
And you just find a way to get married into the family. So that's what you need to know about Paul Mashatile at this point. And again, he's not been found guilty by a court of law. There's nothing further that we can say on this. But it is something worth talking about because this is not just noise. This is How is this happening? How is this possible? We need an explanation from someone who is already second in line to the throne, not just in South Africa, but in the South Africa's biggest and most powerful political party, and is in line to the throne when Ramaphosa's term finishes. So that's the biggest story in South Africa today. The most important story in South Africa today is that Acting Deputy Chief Justice Mbuyiseni Madlanga has announced his team to conduct the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry into the royal mess that is South Africa's police service and, frankly, connected security services, because it's not just linked to the police. And it is, I have to tell you, I don't want to say the Avengers, because it sounds like they are avenging somebody. It is the A-team. It is, what does DC call their crack squad of best superheroes?
The Justice League. Okay. Surely it's the Justice League.
It is the Justice League.
It's the Justices League.
It's the Justices League. That's great. Funnily enough, they are all much more successful justices or justice-connected people than anybody in the DC universe. But Madlanga's team is really phenomenal. I'm going to tell you a little about it because it's important that we who aren't in the legal kind of community know what a big deal the names are in Madlanga's commission. So one, Madlanga is very, very well thought of. In the legal community, he is a respected judge who many people believe has taken brave and strong positions and rejected external pressures from powerful elites before. So already, we did an episode of the Quarter Report about, do we think that Ramaphosa has made a fatal error by appointing a judge in such good standing who really might expose some terrible things that look very badly on the ANC. So already, very, very good judge. Then, fascinatingly, somebody from the Mkhwanazi drama, our former higher education minister, Advocate Terry Motau, senior counsel, he was the guy who Mkhwanazi claimed led her panel to independent advisory panel to select all those CETA board members. And then he came out the next day and immediately said, no, I didn't. She's talking nonsense. That's the kind of person we're dealing with, the kind of person who's bold and brave enough to immediately go public and immediately call out people who are lying and misleading. He is the commission's chief evidence leader. So that is already also a massive coup for the Justices League. And then another evidence leader is none other than Advocate Adila Hassim, who you will remember because she was one of our key team members that took Israel to the ICJ and won that case that then got the ICJ to order Israel to stop creating conditions in which a genocide could happen in Gaza. She was the one who went platinum viral along with Tembeka Ngcukaitobi. She was the one who gave our opening statement. Do you remember that bombshell monologue that she gave? And I have to say, with that fire haircut that she had, and everyone was like, whoa, who is this? So she's been a legend in the South African legal circles for a while. She also worked on the Life Esidimeni case. So she is really bona fide A-list box office. The fact that she's on this commission is incredible. Then there's Matthew Chaskalson, the son of the one and only Arthur Chaskalson, who was the president of the Constitutional Court of South Africa from 1994 to 2001 and a Chief Justice of South Africa from 2001 to 2005. Chaskalson was on the defense team of the Rivonia trial in the 1960s, defending people who were being attacked and pursued by the apartheid state, involving none other than Nelson Mandela. And by all accounts, Arthur's son Matthew, who is now on this commission, is another one of those unimpeachable, highest pedigree legal experts in South Africa. And the list goes on. But this is really, really, really a powerful set of people who've been called up, the Justices League, as James said, to take on what is one of the most important moments, one of the most important and consequential crises for South Africa's history, present, and honestly, its future. And I, for one, am completely thrilled that this team is this good. Also, by the way, it is a massive team. There are lots and lots and lots of people working on this, which suggests a massive budget because this commission is going to be really expensive to have all these people involved and to pull off and to pay for all the work that they're going to do, which means that this commission is going to be able to have far-reaching investigations, which is really good. It's not going to be limited by budget or personnel or hands. And Madlanga did say that the turnaround to complete this within a year and have interim reports within 3 and 6 months is quite tight. But also, it seems as though he's been given the resources to actually get a lot of work done very quickly. And they do say they're going to immediately consult with KZN Police Commissioner, Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi. They're going to go and talk to him imminently. So all signs of this commission are really promising, and I'm excited.
I'm really concerned about this.
Oh, my word, James. I said all of that.
I'm really concerned about this specifically because, nations pick their heroes, their national heroes, because of what they represent, right?
Yeah.
So like sports, musicians, actors, that kind of stuff.
Ours are lawyers.
Our crime is so bad that our crack team are lawyers. We know the names of the best lawyers in this country for multiple reasons.
Exactly. The fact that Adela Hassan was on Life is Many, the ICJ, and now this is crazy. That's like Meryl Streep Oscars, but for the legals.